Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another lesson, number 61.
Beard's getting gray.
Yeah, your beard's been getting gray, babe, since we got together. But that's okay, because you're going to be 45 in 13 days.
This weird, brown spot right in the middle.
That makes you look like you have a cleft chin.
It's where I fell skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, with all this going on in the world, I felt like I needed to do a feel-good lesson for us this week.
Nice. What you got for us?
I have a page bookmarked on my computer from allthat'sinteresting.com about 77 people from history you may have never heard of. Mm-hmm. And as I was scrolling through looking for a topic this week, I came across the story of John Donohue and the greatest beer run ever.
Beer run?
Beer.
All right.
Beer. During the height of the Vietnam War, John decided, you know what? I need to take my friends in Nam some beer from our local bar.
That's cool.
And he did.
Hell yeah.
So John was born in 1941 in New York City, growing up in the Inwood neighborhood.
Wait, he was taking U.S. soldiers' beer, or was he taking Vietnamese people beer?
U.S. soldiers. He was taking people he had grown up with beer.
Gotcha.
Like local neighborhood kids. Which, even if he was taking the Viet people beer, so what?
No, I just thought it was going to be cool, taking Vietnamese people beer, because, they probably like beer, too.
Which I think if he felt a lot different when he came home from his trip than he did when he left.
Yeah.
I think if he had felt the way he did when he left, or when he came back as he did when he left, he may have been giving other people beer. But he was actually on a very, very, I'm on a mission to find these guys and give them beer.
Right.
These guys. So, John was born in 1941 in New York City, growing up in Inwood. From 1958 to 1964, he was a Marine and was stationed in the Philippines and Japan, though he never experienced combat. In November of 1967, the U.S. was embroiled in the Vietnam War, which was probably one of the most protested wars to date.
Sure.
And when I started this war, we hadn't bombed Iran yet. So, one cold night, John was having a drink at Doc Fiddler's when news of the protest came on the TV. Many of the patrons were angry about the news. At least 28 men from their own neighborhood had died during that war already, and they were talking shit about the protesters when the bartender piped up and said, quote, "Somebody ought to go over to Nam and track down our boys from the neighborhood and bring them each a beer," end quote. I'm sure he didn't sound country. This is New York, so
right.
Throw a New York accent on that. I ain't very good at it. As a merchant seaman, John had been able to run ammo to troops in Vietnam, but he felt absolutely helpless at the height of the war. The idea of sailing 8,000 miles to bring his friends a cold drink was one that sparked and grew to a blazing inferno.
Hell yeah.
These were boys from his neighborhood he had watched grow up, and seeing them being called murderers and child and baby killers was too much for him. So he, along with the bartender Lynch, set out planning the journey. John refused any favor that was asked of him, such as when one young soldier's mother tried to give him money to give to her son, as he wanted to focus solely on the mission of getting the beer to the boys. He set about securing a job on the Drake Victory, which was set to haul ammo to Nam. In January of 1968, after 2 months at sea, John finally made it. He set about seeking his good friend Rich Duggan, and to anyone who asked, he told them he was Duggan's stepbrother, which probably eased the minds of the soldiers, as they initially thought he was an intelligence officer due to his plaid shirt and corduroy pants.
Oh, some MK Ultra going on there.
The man wore plaid and corduroy and was like, I'm going to go take my friend some beer.
Right.
Like he's going on a fucking backpacking trip or some shit.
John, it'd be hard as hell to find them too, though, because like Vietnam was so unorganized.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
John claims that the trip took so long that he drank all the beer and he had to restock the PBR and Schlitz.
Yeah,
Schlitz. Thank you. I knew I wasn't saying that right. Before setting off on several different convoys, planes, and helicopters on his way to Kaishan. To aid in his mission, he brought in low-ranking soldiers who themselves were hoping for a cold beer, but made sure not to say too much around the higher-ups. If I told you the truth, you would not believe me, he said. The longer I was there, I became aware that they were deferring to me, and they didn't stop me. And I knew the lingo from being in the Marines, so it just worked, end quote.
Wow.
The first person John found from his neighborhood was his childhood friend, Tommy Collins. Tommy was shocked to be in the middle of a war zone, look over and see his childhood friend, quote, walking around like he's going on a golf outing or wherever the hell he's going, end quote. Imagine, though, you're fucking getting shot up. Ain't nobody had a shower in a week. Everybody's fucking hungry. And, like, people got limbs blown off. And you look over, and here comes this suave-ass motherfucker in, like, some khakis and a polo shirt. And you're like,
it reminds me of...
You son of a bitch.
It reminds me of the movie Apocalypse Now, where the dude's like, Lance, get your surfboard! And he, like, surfs behind a helicopter.
That's funny.
Yeah.
John then got a ride on a chopper headed north to find Duggan. He found him in Quang Tri, a province that was under heavy attack by the North Vietnamese army. Duggan was just as shocked as Collins to see his friend, asking him what the hell he was doing there. John replied simply, quote, I brought you some great beer from New York, end quote. Sir, what? However, before they ever got that chance to have a drink, the group came under fire from the enemy. Donohue was handed an M97 grenade launcher. A firefight ensued and then died out just as quickly. The men were then able to sit back and have their first cold beer in a damn long time. John thought it would also be the perfect time to let Duggan know his mom wanted him to attend Mass. So you know, your mom wants you to go to Mass.
Gotta go to church.
You better go to Mass. See, I'm doing Minnesota now. I need to go back to New York. John had a list of 6 men that he had wanted to find and give a beer to, but he was only able to find 4 of them. One of the men had been sent back stateside due to a case of malaria, while the last had died while John was on his journey.
Wow.
While visiting with his friends, he filled them in on some of the pop culture they had missed, such as a new album from Jefferson Airplane, as well as the retirement of Lombardi, before they all kind of were like, hey, you might want to get the fuck out of here, bro, and go home. Heading back home would not be an easy affair, however. John traveled to Saigon?
Yeah.
Where he made his final delivery to Bobby Pappas. John would end up missing his flight home and have to wait some time before he was able to get help from the American consulate. Unfortunately, on the day he was set to fly out of the country, the Viet Cong began the Tet Offensive, leaving John stranded in a foreign country. Because, like, he was supposed to go to the consulate, but they were kind of, like, massacring people out in front of the consulate, so...
Right.
Thankfully, John would be able to find a spot as an oiler on a merchant ship headed back to New York, where he would arrive on April 1st, 1968.
That's some luck.
That ain't fucking luck. The universe had his ass, okay?
Yeah.
The ancestors got it. The Irish were like, go, sir. We got you back. Because, yeah, he was Irish American. So
Yeah.
them Irish ancestors were like, the boys need a beer.
Yeah.
When he got back home, the colonel, the bartender, poured a drink for the whole bar and raised his glass to salute John. Quote, "To Chicky, who brought our boys beer, respect, pride, and love, goddammit." End quote. His journey had a deep effect on John, with him beginning to agree with the protesters he was angry at just a few months before.
Right.
Having actually went to the front lines and seeing what his friends were living through, he now knew that what the government was saying was lies, and he just wanted his friends to come home, which they did, and they all still share a drink with John to this day.
That's cool.
Over time, word of John's journey got around. A YouTube documentary was made about his story, which can be found linked in the show notes. I'll send it to you directly if you want me to, because I know you like to watch the YouTube-y stuff.
For sure.
And you actually get to see John sit down with his buddies that he delivered beer to and talk to them about what it was like. Then John collaborated with New York Daily News reporter Joanne Malloy and self-published a book titled "The Greatest Beer Run Ever: A True Story of Friendship Stronger Than War" in 2017. Later, the book would be adapted for film, and The Greatest Beer Run Ever was released on Apple TV.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, we're going to have to get your dad's login.
Yeah.
Or maybe just watch it with him, because it seems pretty cool.
For sure.
The movie stars Zac Efron as John, with other stars such as Russell Crowe and Bill Murray, and gives viewers a comedic look into his journey.
Nice.
After,
sounds like a great movie.
It does sound like a great movie, and I saw like some pictures with like Russell Crowe, and I was like, he's the bartender. And I can't imagine. I can just imagine his thick accent. Somebody ought to take our boys a beer. Yeah. After coming home, John bought Doc Fiddler's and ran it for several years. Over time, he got to work as a sand hog, or quote, an urban miner who dug train and water tunnels in New York City, end quote. He would, after a time, take office as the legislative and political director of the Sandhogs of Laborers International Union of North America's Local 147.
That's a mouthful.
Why is it so long? He held this position for over 30 years, being actively involved in any affairs concerning the Sandhogs. He retired and moved to Pompano Beach, Florida, where as of 2022, he lived with his wife. He splits his time between there, New York City, and West Cork, Ireland, and his 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
He also still regularly meets with his 4 friends for dinners in New York City. In an interview with People magazine, John says about this journey, quote, "My mission was simply to let the guys over there know that we truly, truly supported them. Just like our fathers who saw action in World War II, they did their duty for our country, and it had nothing to do with politics. People often ask me, why did you do it? I'd say to myself, why can't they just accept that it was the right thing to do? That's all it really was," end quote.
Right.
And that is a very, very short story. I couldn't find a lot.
It's all right. It's a great story.
But that is the story of John Chicky Donohue and the greatest beer run ever. So what do you think, Bill?
That's freaking awesome.
It is awesome. It also makes me want to cry a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
the love that this man had for his friends.
Sure.
Like, it was just his friends. They weren't family, you know? It was just like, my friends need a beer. I'm going to take them a beer. It's Nan. It'll be fun. Sir, what? There's like a war? No, you don't. Oh, you got khakis. You got corduroys on. All right.
better than camouflage, I guess, in that scenario.
I mean, I'm sure he just looked like a fucking tourist.
Right.
And people were probably like, what?
I wonder if he got shot at and all that shit too.
Well, I mean, he did.
Sure, he probably did.
It did say that when he found Duggan, I think, they ended up getting in a firefight. And there was a name for that firefight, but I didn't write it in there. But, like, yeah, he got in a firefight with, yeah, a few times. I don't know about a few times, but at least once. Well, that is that on that. And you guys, if you have Apple TV, go watch it. It's got Zac Efron, Russell Crowe, and Bill Murray in
I
it.
love Bill Murray.
Come on now. Like, if anybody can make something funny, it's fucking Bill Murray. Okay.
Oh,
But we hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. We hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you guys later.
Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Get your friends a beer.
Get your friends a beer. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.